All right, perfect. So, hello everyone. My name is Kelly Couch. Tonight we're going to be talking about team building and learning personality types and how to apply this in your business. So, before we get started, obviously I said I'm Kelly Couch. I'm an independent promoter with the company Pruvit, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into recognition first. I want to recognize Hannah Hardison for bringing 2 new people to a keto vino night last night. Catherine Cox for being adaptable and being open to tonight's success interview with the crazy on-call job she has. Mark Cartwright for his excitement, and Lisa Bodenberg for coaching up, and Elizabeth Rutan for going at a rhino pace out of the gate. So why don't we take a minute? We'll do gratitude. If you guys can just take a minute, get your phones out, and text someone that you're thankful for. Something, just pick one person, whoever comes to your mind, and send them a little message. All right, perfect. So tonight I am going to teach you guys, we're going to be learning about personality types. And if you learn personality types, you can learn how to use personal development to become the leader that you want to be. And this is that's why we're all here, right? So you want to lead and grow. So this business is a people business. How many of you have heard that, right? We all have. And if you haven't heard this before, then you're welcome. I just helped your business tenfold, because you have to learn how to deal with people in order to, influence them the way you want to influence them, whether they're selling a product, whether you're trying to get them to do something. I mean, look at it with your kids, right? When you build trust, when you learn their personalities, you get way further in what you're trying to accomplish with them, right? So what am I going to, so we did this. How did I learn this? We did this at my very first event was in San Diego in 2016. Natalie Kilborn got up on stage and taught these personalities, and she gave everyone bandanas that was at the event. So when you thought about which one was you, and you had to pick one, then you got a bandana that was that color. And it was really cool for the weekend, because normally you're trying to figure this out, like what motivates this person, what are they excited about, what's sort of their way of thinking. But over the course of the weekend, you literally wore it on your arm or on your backpack or something, and so you could sort of see, in real life, like, oh, that makes total sense what she was talking about. And so you learned by practicing the whole weekend how to interact with people, and you started to understand how big of an impact that would make if you were doing that every day in your business and every day in your interactions. So what am I going to teach today? I'm going to teach the 4 personality types. I want you to be able to identify which you are and identify what other people are. And I want you to help you have a clear vision of why this is critical to your business. For yourself, to know your strengths, and more importantly, where you want to focus your personal development, like David Goggins said, to triple down on your weaknesses, and in others, how to grow and build more effectively. So I'm going to walk you through each personality type, and then I will go back through how to communicate and use these in your business. So I made these I have visuals. So if we're teaching on personality types, we need to have visuals for people like Nick, right? No, but I made these for a training I did for a networking event. And so I was like, perfect. But yeah, so we're going to start with the yellows, okay? Yeah, you guys can see that? So yellows. These people are your empaths, right? They love to get along. They love everyone to get along. They want everyone to be friends. They don't really love conflict. And so as I'm walking through these, I want you guys to be thinking sort of about which one you fall into. They're helpers and givers. They want to benefit others. They're usually soft and gentle, very encouraging people. A lot of times they're indecisive, and followers don't usually like to lead the way or take the lead on a project. They often feel guilty. Sometimes they can be not self-motivated. They need a lot of encouragement, and they're very aware of themselves and their feelings and emotions. So people examples, if you guys have been to an event and you know Mitch Newman, he is 100% yellow. So that's a perfect example. He is very in tune to how he's feeling, very encourage, you know, just he's people. He understands people. He's a hugger, you know, that kind of thing. And I tried to think of examples. I had all Pruvit people examples in here. And then I was like, oh, what if people haven't been to events? So I was trying to like rack my brain here last minute. And I wrote down Mother Teresa. I don't even know if that's true, to be super honest, but I feel like she's really giving and really empathetic. And so we're going to roll with that one for tonight. Their strengths. What are these people's strengths? Dependable. They're team players. They're patient, supportive, and nurturing. What are their weaknesses? They're not always super goal-oriented. They're oversensitive a lot of times. And like I said, followers. What motivates these people? And this will be super important when we wrap back around and how to use this. They do not show this group of people a paycheck. Do not show this group of people your car that you just got. They don't care. They want to feel. They're all the feels, right? So they like team, they like helping others, community, and they like relationships and security. So they like being around other people. Next, we're going to move to blues. Hold on here, can't see you guys. Okay, next we're gonna move to blues. There we go. So this is the most obvious. Like, you will know a blue when they walk in the room because they will make you know that they are there. And they're like that. We call these blues like bright and shiny object syndrome. Like they're here, they're in the they're out there. Everything they see that they love, they're talking about it. My husband is a perfect example of a blue. If you know Nick, you look no further for your blue type personality. They're expressive. They love fun. They're big thinkers. They love to tell stories and talk with their hands. They're risk takers, no regrets, excited, life of the party. You know, they're fast talkers. They're dynamic and social and visual. They're visual learners. And the only example I have for this one is Nick. If you do not know Nick, go on his Facebook. You will know exactly what I'm talking about. For these, you have and I think it's important. I think it's important to force yourself to learn other colors, like knowing who you are. But if you know other colors, you can know how to communicate with each other and how to utilize them in your team. So the strengths for blues are very convincing. You know, they're high energy, they're enthusiastic, their energy is super positive. So if you are not a blue, and I'll go back through this, it's helpful to know a blue in your team. So when I say it's all back to third-party validation, but when I'm having a conversation with someone and I feel it getting kind of dry because I am the next personality type, which is very analytical, I'll say, I need to get them around Nick's energy. Like, we might be saying the same thing, but he's going to bring an energy. He's going to bring that enthusiasm that people feel when he comes in a room. And I'll just tell a quick funny story about that. We have a promoter in our team, Tony. He's probably on here. But he said Nick met him literally at a gas pump. They were talking about his Jeep. And he said he could feel Nick's energy around the gas pump before Nick even talked to him. So I'm like, it's coming. It's emanating from these blues. What are their weaknesses? They talk too much. A lot of times they're poor at follow-up. Unorganized and very impulsive. Motivators for this type of personality is lifestyle, vacations, fun, the Pruvit conferences that we all go to, that blues thrive in that environment. Freedom for them, time freedom, and cars. You know, they love all of that stuff. Dislikes, they do not like to not have fun. If a blue stops having fun, they stop paying attention. I always joke with Nick that I can tell in his eyes when he's lost focus and we need to bring it back around. He's on to something more fun than what I'm talking about. They do not like facts and figures. They do not sit down with a green and go through all this, or a blue, and go through all the science. You have lost them at, you know, what is a ketone? They need to feel your energy and feel that positivity. And they get bored easily. So what is a green? A green is an analytical person. They're your facts and figures. You're going to be your biggest skeptics. Always need more info. They don't like they don't like to round off things. They like graphs, research, exacts. They're slow movers. They don't like change, hate to be rushed, very specific, precise, deliberate. it's funny because Nick and I are married, and so when we learned about these personalities, and we were like, this makes so much sense. Like, we are so different, but that's why it works, because I was super skeptical. I needed more information, and Nick's like, let's do it, let's go, I'm ready. And so, I needed, had he communicated in my personality type, maybe it wouldn't have taken me 6 months to come around and try the product, right? But I think we didn't know, he was being himself and being excited, and that's good. But if you can understand other people's personalities, you can bring them around faster and understand what they need to hear to raise their belief. So people examples, myself, Jess Nowles, if you guys know Jess Nowles, she's a perfect example of a green. They're always taking notes at event. Like, I know if Jess is there, my notes don't have to be nearly as good. Bless his heart, I know if Nick is my only person at an event, then I'm gonna have to get some notes from someone else, or figure out if they printed them out somewhere. It's like a cliff note. Nick is like a cliff note person, and I'm like the what's it called, unabridged version or something. I need everything. I want to know everything. So strengths. What are the strengths of these people? Super organized. Planners, they're accurate, great at follow-up, and very persistent. Weaknesses, over analytical, hard to please, and they get analysis paralysis, right? So an example of someone that you may bring on to your team, and everything seems right. They're super into the science, they're super excited to share it, but every time you call them, it's like, I just want to make sure I have every article I may ever need to share this conversation. And you're like, oh, whoa. Whoa, you just need to really pour some. So then I go back to Nick's personality, just literally mix one up and have them drink it. Cause I have been there. That's me. What if they ask me this question? I want to have every tool in my arsenal, right? So motivators, what motivates greens? Why things work, the science, and well laid out plans. Dislikes for greens, pushy people, lazy people, vague talk, and rah. Vague talk, I mean, Brian can call Nick and I and be like, okay, today's the day, you guys need to crush it. What does that mean, right? I get it. I get in concept, I get it, but I like a well laid out plan. Nick's like, I got it. All right, click, they're done. There you go. I'm like, cool, all right, so go look up crush it. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously it's not that literal, but that's what I mean by that. And the rah, I think greens are going to be harder to get to corporate events, because that whole, the whole idea that people have of events from, whatever preconceived notions they have of community marketing, they go and I didn't want to be a part of that, but you need to get them there. It's Keto Academy first, and that a green thrives at Keto Academy. That's their spot. So what is a red? Our fourth and final. A red is a get out of my way type personality. Can you guys see that okay? They're driven, competitive, strong-willed, their way or the highway, can sometimes be kind of forceful. They make a decision and do it. They live by comparison. They're in command, not always super compassionate, and, very to the point. People examples in our community, if you guys know Abigail. Abigail is a strong red. Brian James, a strong red. Like I said, I tried to come up with outside examples. I would say Donald Trump is a good example of a red, if I had to choose tonight right before this, So strengths of these people, they're focused, they're goal oriented, and they're intense. I would take a red any day, because I know that they're focused on their goal once we set those goals. Their weaknesses, their ego can sometimes get in the way. They're short-tempered, and sometimes can be impatient when everyone else is not focused on that same goal. So motivators, what motivates a red? Money, power, recognition. Recognition is huge for everyone, but definitely for a red. Control, being the best, and incentives and contests. If you can run those kinds of things for your team, a red is going to hit that a lot of the time. Dislikes, reds dislike indecision. They dislike chit chat, and they dislike not feeling like they're in control. So now we're going to run back through these and talk about how to work best with these people in your business. So a yellow, do you guys need me to hold them up, or can I leave them down? I don't know, it's okay. How do you work best with a yellow? So yellows work with and through other people to achieve results, as opposed to directing people and things to happen. So a high priority for them is close friendships and close relationships. They like recommendations on how to do things and cooperation, group effort. They always want to be serving others. And I think all of this plays back into those local environments that Brian talked about last week, I think it was. You know, and you can see it, how it all plays together when you're understanding a personality type. And I was just talking about this last night. You know, I am not the kind of person that would ever go to a mixer if I was first getting started. Like, that wouldn't be, if you were trying to meet me at my needs, that would not be the thing. I would much rather stay here, get on a Zoom while my kids are in bed. And so same kind of thing here. If you can develop those local environments, you're more likely to get a yellow out to maybe a social event or a community volunteering event, and they can see the heart of your community. They can see who you guys are before they maybe want to join your business. Like, joining a business is terrifying to a yellow, but if you can show them, like, we're bigger than this product, we're bigger than we're part of something that's bigger than ourselves. And the more you can show that to a yellow, the better off you're going to be with them. For a blue, how to work best with the blue: communicate regularly to keep them focused and realistic. An example of this, what is better for a blue, you know, the little voice, Facebook Messenger has the little voice thing instead of a typing thing. You're going to keep a blue way more focused if you use that voice thing than if you text to them. Like, I will send Nick message, nothing, right? He's at a mixer, could be an emergency. Nick would never know. The minute it's a voice, he's like, oh, you know, clicks right in. There it goes. I'm like, how have I not learned this already? I should have sent that first. But they communicate regularly. They need to stay focused. Like, they have goals and they're driven, but constantly, you know, adjusting their path and making sure they're staying focused on what they need. They love groups. They want to be involved in the thinking and the decision making, and they love to be the face of the group. So, you know, for example, Nick has no issue, you know, getting out, running mixers. Even when he didn't really know all he did about ketones, it was okay. That's where he thrives. So letting these people be a part of, you know, making the decisions for a local event you're going to have, or letting them get up and share their story and be involved in that is huge for a blue. It's important to them to have high visibility and personal recognition. So green, how to work best with the green. Greens, because greens are perfectionists a lot of times, they tend to be sensitive and worry about accuracy and things being done right. And so Nick and I kind of got caught up in that in the beginning, because he's like, you know, let's just go make a mess and talk to tons of people. And looking back, we said a lot of wrong things. We were doing our best, but we said a lot of wrong things. And looking back, like, oh man, maybe we should revisit some of those things. Because I was just like, all right, I'm going to follow his lead on this, and we're just going to get out and do it. You know, a lot of times greens can get stuck with not feeling like everything is perfect when they go, they might not run a mixer because it might not be perfect, right? That's where these blues can come in, and, you know, green can get up and do what they're good at, and then the blue can come in and build the energy. You know, finding these in your team can be huge when you're trying to work together, because then you don't have to be all of these. You can incorporate them and trust other people that they'll get what they're good at done. Greens they have a great need for knowing exactly how things should be done. They require detailed explanations. They're low risk takers, and they need time to stew over new ideas and need lots of exposures. Another good example of different personalities is Nick and Jess are running tomorrow night's mixer. Nick is a blue, Jess is a green. And Jess has been wanting to plan since probably last Thursday. And Nick, he means well, and he says yes. And then tomorrow night, I don't even know if I think they did meet at jiu-jitsu, but, you know, she's literally got to chase him down to Carlisle to be like, sit down for like a half an hour. I need to focus, you know, and she wants to go through that. And most people, I mean, I'm a green, so I'm like, most people would, but maybe they don't. Maybe it's just a quarter of us. So what about reds? Reds, how to work best with them. They're your driven people. Show how your ideas equal results. Reds want to see, like, less talk, more action. Reds want to see you get it done. If you are married to a red, do it. Like, quit talking. Like, and I love it, not just in my business, but I love looking at this kind of thing everywhere, because you're like, oh, that makes total sense once you put it in perspective. Reds, you want to discover common goals and objectives and find ways to support them. So they're very goal oriented. They will make a goal and stick to it. So if you are leading a red, find out what their goal is and then play a support role in getting them there, right? They don't need you necessarily to always take the lead. They need you to find out what you can do to push them to that goal. A lot of times they like their relationships to be super business, their business on a lot, as opposed to a yellow, for example. They ask specific questions or ask them specific questions, stick to what, why, and when. And remember, a lot of times with this personality, dominance respects dominance. So, you know, stand your ground. Like if you're dealing with a red, you guys know what you're talking about. Like if you drink ketones and you have a story, then you know what you're talking about. And I don't care if they, you know, aren't impressed that whatever, like you haven't earned a car yet. I don't care if they're not impressed that you haven't lost 1 million pounds and Johnny lost 1 million pounds in 10 days. I don't care if they're not impressed. You guys have your story and you have a kick product, right? So what else do you need? Like bring in backup. You've got a community, like you've got everything you need. Stand your ground, right? You guys got what you need here. So I want to move into the reasons why being able to recognize these are important. If you can recognize or start to recognize personality types, you can know, I'm going to call it a prospect for lack of a better word. You can know a person that you may be able to help with ketones and how to connect them. So you hear a lot, we talk about watch, connect, enroll, right? The watch stage is the same for all of us. We're asking what they know. We're sending the campfire video. Connect is where this really comes in handy, knowing these personality types. So if I took a green and I show them cars and money and hugging them all the time, I'm like, what is wrong? Like literally what is wrong with this person? But if I can say, oh, like I recognize what color they are and I'm a blue. Okay. So for blue, they're motivated by the excitement and the lifestyle. So you want to show them the better trip videos. Like, you know, they went to Hawaii. I'm trying to think where the other one, New York, you know, they want to see the fun that everyone's having. Why? Show them why they want to be a part of this community. We have a special community and that's what you want to give them. You want to show them that. And social environments are huge. Nick and I did them a while ago. We're going to get back into them because, you know, blue for everybody, but particularly for blues, they want to get out and see this awesome thing they're going to be a part of. For greens, connect them with doctors, the live calls. Like that's what, before I even knew everything that we are doing now, I just watched the doctor's live calls every single week. And then when I started to see, because I'm a researcher and I was an attorney, you know, I like the research. And then when I started to see, oh, I know some of these answers, then it was like, I felt better. I didn't need to know all that, but I felt better. So greens, doctor's lives, the ketone 101s that we do every Tuesday night, they're great for greens. Keto U, if you want something shorter, the Keto U videos are really good. For reds, show them, you know, the fast start video, any promos like these, like the reboot promo is perfect for a red, you know, those kind of things really incentivize them. So connect them to that, connect them to other reds in your community. And for yellow, the Inspire On campaign, I mean, come on, they're built for yellows, right? They are like, they're built for everyone. They're amazing, but the yellows love those. And your community, your yellows might be a little more slow to the draw, but once they see that your community cares, which ours is amazing, you know, they're going to love that. The second thing for being able to recognize these is to know how to motivate your promoters, and also to know the strengths in your own team. So, you know, I know we're all one big team. What I'm saying is, you know, the people that you're directly working with, you can, if you know how to motivate them and you know how to excite them and find their strengths, wouldn't that be so much better to be able to build your business, right? If you're not ready to start doing this in your business, start observing it in your own life and practice. Like practice with your kids. It's kind of like love languages, right? When you find the love language that that person is and thrives on, like you feel like you just found a treasure because you're like, oh, wish I would have known that sooner. I would have changed how I reacted with that person. Okay, so I think we're good there. If you guys have questions, obviously drop them in the comments, but I'm going to go move into call to action. But first, I want you guys to, if someone can drop the link, tonight's success interview is with Catherine Cox. Josh Nelson is going to be interviewing Kat Cox. I think you guys will be really excited. She's a rising champ and she has an amazing story that you guys are going to want to hear. So move right into that. The call to action tonight, I want you guys to make an event. It doesn't have to be big. Like we're going to have a team get together, even like a Christmas party. It's perfect time of year for that. Have your people over and do this exercise. It doesn't have to be long. You know, our Christmas parties are usually not really a lot of business. It's just for us to really get to know each other. But this would be a fun exercise to do at the beginning of that. Wear your bandanas around and practice, right? You can do it there. I also like to do this with your kids. Like they're the first guinea pigs. Like see what they are. My Hayden is a red. Travis is a yellow. I need to be down on his level talking. AJ's a blue like Nick. So find that out with the people in your family. And then if you want to take it a step further, find a book. There's a lot of good books about understanding people. So how to win friends and influence people, bringing out the best in people. Find an audiobook and really dig in and realize that the more you know people, the better you'll do at this business. So last thing I want to talk about before we get off reboots, today is the last day for reboot sales if you guys didn't know that. So we want to make sure we're getting everyone set up. Buy a couple extra because then you still have 2 more weeks to get them out to people before the 16th start date. So have a good night, everyone. I'm going to hop off so we can all get over on that success interview.